On this episode, we have an interview with Chris from Buddipole. Hello, this is John W7DBO with the Field Radio Podcast. If you want to learn more about how to get your gear and get outdoors, hit the subscribe button and the bell icon so you do not miss anything. I've just returned from the Orlando Hamcation 2018, and while there, I got some interviews to bring to you. This is an interview with Chris from Buddipole. My first antenna for the field has been the Buddipole. With all the versatile configurations, it makes the perfect tinkering system to try new antenna configurations and experiment by adding parts, all the while being affordable. We're here at Orlando Hamcation with Chris with Buddipole, and I've been a user of Buddipole for quite a while. I like to refer to Buddipole as the erector set of antennas. You have all the possibilities, and you can go out in the field and tinker and play, which is really fun to do with field antennas.
Right, correct. In fact, we have a demo outside of the building right now, a gentleman, just a customer of ours, that came up with his own configuration, like a Lego set, modular design, mix and match parts. And in this case, he's doing kind of this lazy man type thing, where the one antenna is vertical here, and then it comes across the middle, and the other element is coming down on a dipole. So plays a lot like a vertical dipole. He gets great results. Just an interesting, another way, somebody thinking out of the box. But we've been doing business now for about 16 years, all made in the U.S. We do most of the manufacturing at our facility. We have CNC machines, lasers, and 3D printers, and that type of thing. Primary product is going to be our dipole antennas. And I don't know if you see it in the shot, it's probably hard with the background. Our Buddipole antenna is 40 meters through 2 meters. We have articulating arms that allow us to change the configuration, so we can go from a horizontal dipole, which is what I like to use most of the time because it's just very efficient. It hears better than a vertical, it's directional, but there are times when other configurations, like a V or like an L, or I run a lazy L a lot of times, plays like a vertical dipole. That lower takeoff angle that gives you, particularly over salt water, is very effective. So I guess the key word here is versatility, quality of the products, just building this stuff in-house. We're doing our own coax cables, and just after years of selling other people's cables, we thought, hey, we can do this better. And so we now do a custom injection mold with ears at the end that retain a strap for strain relief, dust-proof, moisture-proof covers on the end, and mil-spec coax. And I don't know anybody else that's doing cables like that, but we just decided, hey, we think we can do a better job at it, and that comes with all of our antennas. Let's see what else I can talk about. We build Yagis out of these. I like to build a vertical Yagi with the dipole. You essentially have two halves of the antenna. Each half can be used as a vertical. So we do vertical Yagis, very low takeoff angle, just a killer over salt water. We take trips every year down to the Caribbean with our customer base. A gentleman right when you started just came by. I said, hey, come back, I'm busy, but he was on a trip with us like 5 years ago down to St. Lucia. We like to take the antennas and take the equipment down and just prove it out in the field. I'm going to Costa Rica in a couple weeks. Recently, we've gone into power products. We have a couple devices now. CQ Magazine just did a review of our Power Mini. They were selling a lot of those, almost sold out now, today, Saturday, halfway through the show. That's a solar controller, an RF quiet solar controller. It's also a DC distribution, so with power poles. We've got a couple different outputs. It's got an OLED display. We show current, we show voltage, show how much power you've drawn, what's the peak solar power that's come in. And you don't have to run it with a solar panel. It's can also just be used as a DC distribution and alarms, high voltage alarm, low voltage alarm, low voltage cutoff. Some really handy features. So that review in CQ Magazine is available to anybody in the digital version in December on their website. Yeah, we have antennas that go down to 80 meters and larger coils, air-wound, low-band coils, number of other just accessories to extend what you can do with the system. So.
Yeah, one thing I've found is, I've had your Buddipole for a couple of years, and I think the biggest thing is the durability. You're not going to have parts that fail on you, essentially. Another thing I like is especially in an MCOM situation or something like that, you don't really know what your situation is going to be until you show up. And you don't want to bring 10 or 15 antennas.
Right.
And so you have this versatility. I've used it in the Invis format and just use it for 40, 80 communications just hopping over the mountain, which is a great versatility of using the system.
So we just did some work with the Navy SEALs on a very low antenna to the ground. It's one of our dipoles, and we did a unique way of keeping that just elevated slightly above ground, and very interesting results with that. But normally we like to, as with an NBIS antenna, below a quarter wavelength for sure, and usually less than 20 feet, horizontal dipole low to the ground. And what we do is we run out the antenna arms, the coils, take the whips off the end, and we run wire down. So that allows us to make a broad banded dipole that is inverted V dipole. It's full size, and but we have the coils that have about 30 feet of wire on each one. So it deploys in about half the footprint that a normal, full size wire dipole would. So that's been very popular for NBIS work. Another segment are people in antenna restricted areas, small backyards. A lot of people here in Florida with HOA restrictions. RVers, had several folks at the show that are traveled here in RVs and using our system. And we have some smaller antennas, for smaller formats of our vertical and our dipole that are used for SOTA work. So that's another pretty good size segment for us.
Yeah, that's what I was saying is you're really looking at if you want a all-in-one solution essentially. And I appreciate that you can buy a base kit, and then as you figure out the things you want to do with it, you just buy those accessories and intermatch, so you don't have to go down a SOTA road and realize your investment is all lost because now you're going down a different road. Everything is interchangeable, and it helps you pick and choose what you're interested in, so you're not buying a whole bunch of things you don't need.
That's right. And I typically, I was just telling a gentleman earlier, I'll pull parts out of the kit, excuse me, and even leave the bag behind when I do SOTA stuff. I just have a small kind of day pack type thing, and I just pull out what I need to go up and do that SOTA, and I use a walking stick and I mount on top of that and some short guy lines. You're right, that versatility, the same antenna arms are used in dozens, if not hundreds of different configurations. We make a really neat little 2 meter and 440 J-pole right out of the bag, with the standard stuff. Our kit has everything you need to do that immediately. But other things, as you mentioned, like our 2 meter, 6 meter, 10 through 15 meter Yagis, 2 and 3 element, those use the same parts that come with the kit, but you need additional ones to get to that. You need additional telescopic whips for the 3 element, and you need some additional arms, but we're using the arms for the boom, and so we're making use of all of that in all these different configurations.
All right, thank you for taking time with us, Chris. And you have a YouTube channel, you have a website. Tell people how they get a hold of you.
We do. Just buddipole.com, and Buddipole is BUDDIPOLE.com. And we also have a YouTube channel under Buddipole. So those are the best ways. You can call us any day at the shop and just say, hey, what would you recommend for this situation? And we're more than happy to spend some time and figure out what would be best for you.
Yeah, I've done that before. Just call them and say, hey, this is what I'm looking for, and put together a package for me, something like that. So, but we'll put all the information in the links below, and I'd like to thank you for coming on the show, Chris.
Yeah, man, thank you. My pleasure.
All right, thank you. Thank you for watching. This is John W7DBO with the Field Radio Podcast. Until I see you next time, get your gear and get outdoors, and I'll see you on the air. 73.